What's up guys? Welcome to another video. Today I'm going to talk about the oil painting process known as Alla Prima. Before we get started, I will say that I am not a professional. I've never been formally trained in any of this. I'm kind of just sharing what I've learned along my journey in hopes of helping those who are a little bit earlier in their own art journeys. Alla Prima is a method of oil painting that is basically completing a painting in a single layer. It's also known as the wet-on-wet method of oil painting. I'm going to talk about the two different ways that I like to paint an Alla Prima. The first is more of the traditional way, and the second is a little bit of a weirder way, but it's kind of fun, so check it out. In the first method, which you can see right now in the painting of the hand, you basically color block in your different areas. It kind of reminds me of paint by numbers, honestly, just kind of following your sketch and based on your reference image. In this painting, I started with my lighter tones and blocked those into the areas on the reference image that had those lighter tones, went to my medium tones, and then ended with my shadow tones. In other paintings, I've started with the shadow tones and worked my way back from there. It's totally up to you, totally what feels natural. Sometimes I switch back and forth between. Once you have your colors blocked into the areas that they belong in, that's when you get to start blending those colors together, and that's when it starts to really look like a painting. Once you've done your blending, you'll probably have to go back in with some more of your shadow and your highlight tones just to get back the details that might have been lost in the blending. And then after that, in this particular painting, I did a nice bold outline around the edge just because it was going for a bit of a more cartoony feel. So the second method of painting is a little different, and it's not one I've seen all that frequently, but it's really fun. You start with taking your subject, which in this case was the flower, and laying a base coat of a mid-tone over the entire subject, and that's going to be the layer that you work your colors into. In this method, you do a lot of your blending of colors on the painting itself as opposed to having them pre-mixed on the palette. For that reason, you really want to make sure you have kind of a limited color palette. You don't want to be trying to blend too much on the painting because it can lead to a really muddy painting. So in this case, I had my base coat color, and then I had the permanent rose that I was working over that to get my pinks and some of my shadows, and then I laid down some cobalt violet into the deepest parts of the shadows just to make them a little darker, and then I had some white that I used for some of the highlights, and that was the only colors that went into that painting, and it helps it stay clean to have that limited number of colors. Once again, once I had the flower finished, I outlined it in that purpley red tone, just to have it mesh well with the hand below it. Initially, I had intended to fill the entire background with a dark purple color, but once I had done the outlines, I didn't want to lose those outlines with a really dark background, and honestly they stood out really nicely against the white paper, so I decided to leave it and just ended up taking that purpley red color from the flower and using it to outline that geometric shape, and I think it just really brings the piece together. Anyway guys, thanks for checking out this video. I know this wasn't the traditional how to paint an Alla Prima video, but I figured there are a few of those out there, and so I would just talk about how I do it for anyone who might be interested. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, put them in the comments below. I'd be happy to talk about it. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up button. That would be awesome. And if you want to see more, then hit subscribe. I'm currently posting videos every Monday, so I'll see you next week. Bye.